how's it going? We are working on two different annual planting projects today. One is an in-ground project, one is containers. So the first one is underneath the red point maples along the west side driveway. We have the Vidal tulip mix from Color Blends planted underneath them, and they are done. They have been done for a little while. We only have a few straggler tulips still hanging on from spring. Now that it's getting warmer, like tomorrow's supposed to be 91, I think. Day after supposed to be 66, so we're dealing with some temperature swings around here. But either way, it's making the bulbs, the spring bulbs are just kind of starting to die off. We try to leave them as long as possible. You want to leave their leaves until they yellow and start to die back, because those leaves soak in the sun, which feeds the bulb and gives them energy to bloom the next year. But I think we're gonna actually do something different underneath the maple trees next year. So we dug up the bulbs entirely and I gave them to a friend, and we are gonna plant Supertunia mulberry charm underneath those maples. It's one of my favorite Supertunias. It performs super well every single year for us. And as you know, the west side, I was gonna make it a moon garden, but I've decided to add in color because the moon garden, I've seen other people's moon gardens and they're gorgeous. But when I started to do it in this particular spot, it just didn't feel right. And I really missed color. So I'm excited to incorporate some color back in. And the other project we're gonna do is actually at our church. That's where we took our self-watering containers when we got our new containers along the east side fence line. So there are 10 large True Drop containers there. I've got all the plants already pulled. I actually kind of grouped the plants together how I want them in the pots per flat. So there are 10 flats sitting in there. We've got our flower tone. So now I just need to go get Erin and we'll head down and do that one first. While I'm waiting for Erin, I want to show you the west side right now because it is looking pretty good. So here we are. Look at the arborvitaes. Can you even believe it? Look at how big they are. I mean, of course from this angle they always look like they're more full, but even straight on, we don't have very much longer to where they're an actual wall. It is amazing. When we planted them, they were just about at that middle railing. It's just phenomenal. I'm loving it. So this is where we're planting the mulberry charms. You can see our drip tubing running through there, a little bit of leavings from the tulips. I'm just gonna leave them there because we're gonna mulch right over the top of them. But oh, we got some dust blowing through. Do you see that? Kind of looks smoky, but it's not. It's dusty. Awesome. Anyway, everything's doing great. The red point maples are really starting to put on some growth. Just super happy with the structure here. So here they are, all cleaned out, lined up. It's so nice to have them lined up and not scattered everywhere to plant them. Makes it a little bit more efficient. Plus, they're actually tucked in. So we were supposed to get that really bad windstorm, so they're tucked in right down here, a little protected. And Evan, who takes care of all the landscaping here and does a fantastic job. In fact, I'm gonna show you some of the plantings that we've done and how they look now in just a second. Anyway, he went to run and get a little bit more soil because usually when you start watering these, they settle a little bit and they're a little low. So anyway, we'll start planting here in a second. And here is the flower bed we worked on last year. It looks so good. I'm so happy with it. In fact, there's still some tulips blooming. You can see where the daffodils already bloomed and have been deadheaded for now. But everything just looks so fresh and beautiful. So starting on this side, we've got a Celtic Pride Siberian cypress. These grow roughly 1 to 3 feet tall, 4 to 5 feet wide. It's looking like it's liking this spot. There's a Russian sage right here, denim and lace. There's some Nepeta, look at that. Isn't that amazing? There's more Nepeta over on that side, so just kind of like drawing the interest over. There is an Apache rose, panicum. Sorry about the noise, you guys, this is a super busy road. There's a bloomerang lilac that's in full bloom, looking absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. We've got a fluffy arborvitae, another Russian sage in here, some tulips and Nepeta. This is the Arctic Fire dogwood. In fact, there's 3 of them right here. Those are just starting to leaf out and bloom a little bit. Another Russian sage. I kind of popped those all throughout because they're so tough and this area gets sun all day long. The Fritsch spruce right here, which has new growth. It looks like it struggled just a little bit, but it's got new growth, so that's a good sign. Another Russian sage right here. There's another Apache rose panicum. This is a Rose of Sharon, which is coming back. They're one of the last ones to break dormancy, and I can see some green growth coming out. Russian sage, another fluffy with a little bit of probably wind damage. Mine has the same thing. Got another Apache rose. Look at these Nepeta. These are the cat's pajamas. They're phenomenal plants. And that's an Oh So Easy double red rose. We've got 3 barberries that I cannot recall the name of, but they look great right here. And then we've got the Boogie Woogie Salvia. So kind of a backed up look there. It looks great. I'm really happy with the combination of colors and textures. The fact that all the plants have ample room to grow. It's just a really, I think, a really pleasing area. And then we've got the 2 fluffy arborvitaes in the pots. This one sustained a little bit more. I actually trimmed a little bit off that when I did some Christmas greens in these pots this past year. This one looks a little bit better. But you can see in this corner, this is where we put the Gatsby Gal hydrangea, oak leaf hydrangea, just leafing out now. And it does really well in this spot. And then there's a Bloodgood Japanese maple right in the corner there. Also really happy with the North Pole arborvitae hedge. I won't walk all the way up there because you can see it. It's a hedge. But every single one of them survived. The one right by the pole, I think I'm pointing at it, right in there, right there. That one started to suffer last year, and they just added a little bit of extra water to it, came right back. They're all looking really good. All done, so let's take a quick look at each one of these containers. So container number 1 has a purple fountain grass, 3 Supertunia honeys, a Supertunia black cherry, an Ipomea red hawk, and a peachy keen Superbena. So this one will have a little bit more of an autumn feel, but I think that's kind of smart to do because I always regret not having planted more of those types of things early once we get to the late part of summer. And in container number 2, this one's gonna be so beautiful and kind of sparkly. I actually used a lot of this Snowstorm Snow Globe Bacopa because it's so full and beautiful. So I've got 3 of those in there. There's a Play in the Blue Salvia in the middle, which is on the small side right now, but they grow fast and it'll get huge and be beautiful. Osteospermum Bright Lights Pink, 3 of those. Container number 3, kind of all yellow and white. I did 3 of the Osteo Bright Lights yellow in the center because those get about 10 to 12 inches tall. And I mean, I could put just one in there, but I think it honestly would be a little bit too small for to play as a centerpiece in this large of a pot. There's a heated up yellow Gaillardia. These plants are amazing. So this is the bloom right here. They are a little water hungry, like you can already tell. It's like, okay, you need to water me. I haven't watered in any of these pots or cleaned up my mess at all yet. But they get huge and just full of bloom. I'm really impressed with the growth on these here in our area. 3 more of the Bacopa. There's a Sweetheart Lime Sweet Potato Vine. This one, we've got a itty bitty Suncredible sunflower in here. Look at this. Look how cute that is. It'll get big. I know you guys are probably shocked that I only put 1 in there, but honestly, those get huge. 3 Supertunia Bermuda Beach, which have more of a kind of coral vibe to them than like the bubblegum. There's a Blushing Princess Lobularia. These get massive. Peachy Keen Superbena, and then another Red Hawk Ipomea. This one has Carolee Petite Pink. 3 of the Gara. Might be overkill. 1 may have done it. But I don't remember these getting super wide, and I wanted it to be kind of bulky right there. So that's why I did that. 3 of the Bacopa, 3 of the Osteo Bright Lights Pink. Then we've got a purple fountain grass, 3 Osteo Bright Lights Yellow, and 3 Supertunia Really Red. So this one will be a nice bright container. And then in this one, 3 Osteo Bright Lights Pink, 3 Bacopa, and 3 Superbena Sparkling Amethyst. Right there. This one is a brand new Supertunia Vista called Jazzberry. Isn't that pretty? It's fun. Let me find one in the shade. There we go. I love that, and I only put 3 of them in here because you guys know how Supertunia Vistas in particular grow massive. So we only need 3 in this container. Here in this one, we've got a Kufia, a Vermillionaire right here. They get quite large. Tube-shaped yellow and red blooms. They attract hummingbirds like crazy. There's 1 Bacopa, 3 Supertunia Mini Vista Indigo, 1 heated up Scarlet Gaillardia, and 1 Ipomea Sweetheart Lime. And then in this last container, we have one Truffula Pink Gomphrena. Sorry about the lighting, it's kind of like half sun, half shade-ish. And then Supertunia Vista Silverberry, just 3 of those because again, Vista Supertunias get huge. So there you go, there's the 10 self-watering containers. I think they're gonna be really pretty, and they're all kind of scattered around. So even though like I used quite a bit of the Bacopa and the Osteo Pinks, like in several of the containers, they were just so beautiful, I couldn't help it. But they're kind of scattered around the campus here, so they're not all put together in the same spot, even though I think that that would be really pretty too. Okay, so I'm gonna water these in, spray off the sidewalk to clean up my mess, and then we're gonna head home and plant all the Supertunia mulberry charms. All right, we just made it back home. I've got all the flowers, so we're just gonna get this project done. And here they are, looking absolutely beautiful. They're like a mini Bordeaux. And as they grow, they start to bloom so prolifically that you cannot see any leaves. Oh, good job. You need a bigger watering can, huh, buddy? All right, we got it all done. I had a great helper. Benjamin planted a whole bunch of those all by himself. Bravo, buddy. So we ended up with 16 Supertunias around 4 of the maples and 15 around 1 of them. I'm not really sure how I got off, but they all look really good. They all look spaced well, so I'm not really sure. Maybe one of the little swoops is smaller than the others. Doesn't really make sense, but you never know. So I'm gonna water these all in. Even though there's a drip line running through the area, I wanna make sure all the soil is settled in, and then we'll run the drip for a day or 2 before we mulch. That'll be the last step. You can see that this whole area has been mulched. It looks so beautiful and tidy. And this area, we just wanna make sure that the water is working properly before we cover up those tubes, just in case we need to make any repairs. And sometimes that means eliminating some drip if we have a little bit too much water running in the area, but I don't think so in this case. We have 3 drip tubes running through here, and I think that'll be perfect. So I put Flower Tone in all the planting holes and Flower Tone in the containers down that we planted just a minute ago, and then we'll probably be following up. We're gonna try using Flower Tone on a lot of our plantings instead of doing a weekly fertilizing, just to see how it works, because that would sure be nice if we could do that. The only problem I can see with that type of fertilizing is once the leaves, like the canopy of the plant, is really dense, it'll make it harder to get that fertilizer down to soil level. So that's the only issue I can see, and we're just gonna have to try to tackle that when we get to it. But I cannot wait to see these fill in. I think it's gonna look very striking to have all of the same plant underneath this maple, especially because this area is really, really formal. So it really works in this area. And the mulberry charm just is, it grows like a charm in our area. Like, it really does. Containers, landscape, doesn't matter. It just really works well. So anyways, that is it for today's video. We will update you guys on how these are doing later on in the season. I hope you're having a great day, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.